Today I'm gonna talk about how to use this grammar, 야 하다 and 야 되다, and also the difference between these two. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Inyoung. If you're interested in learning Korean language and culture, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so that you don't miss any videos and weekend lives in the future. So today I'm gonna talk about this topic that I get asked by my followers often. Here are the two verb endings, 야 하다 and 야 되다. These verb endings can be interpreted in a variety of ways in English. Have to, need to, must, or should. I'm sure that I'm missing a few things here. For the grammatical sentence, it's very simple. You just need to conjugate a verb before using 야 하다 or 야 되다. For example, if I use 하다 verb to do, I'm gonna conjugate to 해. So it becomes 해야 하다 or 해야 되다. So obviously, if you want to speak in polite speech, you need to conjugate the verb ending as well. So 해야 돼요 or 해야 해요. It's pretty simple, right? These verb endings can be interchangeably used for English interpretation. But there is a subtle difference between the Korean verb endings, 야 되다 and 야 하다. If you look at the verb 되다, that means to become or to be okay. 되다 has more like passive meaning. And 하다, which is to do, it sounds a little more active meaning. So if you were to use these verb endings to somebody in a phrase, so 야 되다 sounds a little softer than 야 하다. Maybe for this reason, 야 되다 is more common than 야 하다. There is another distinction between 야 되다 and 야 하다. 야 되다 has more negative forms than 야 하다. You can use verb root, 면 or 으면 안 돼요. So you're using 면 or 으면, which is if conjunction, and add 안 돼요. So if you do this, it's not okay. So that gets interpreted as you shouldn't or you must not. And another way to negate this verb ending is conjugated verb root plus 서는 안 돼요. So you're using a verb conjunction, 서, that has meaning of and then. You do this and then not okay. 는 here is comparison. You could do other things, but you do this and then not okay. The third way you can negate this verb ending, you add 안 first, 안 conjugated verb root 도 돼요. So this is almost equivalent to don't have to. Do you see the difference even in English format? When you say I shouldn't versus I don't have to. I don't have to sounds more like it's okay not to do it. So Korean version is 안 conjugated verb root 도 돼요. So 도 is even if as a conjunction. Even if not do the verb. It's okay. Now let's get into 야 하다. I cannot really find a way to negate this verb ending. Unless you just say 하지 마요. Don't do it. So let's get right into these examples just to clarify everything. 오늘 공부해야 돼요. 오늘 today 공부해 is from 공부하다 verb. 야 돼요. 야 돼요, that's the need to, have to, should, however you wanna interpret it in this context. I'm gonna just use have to. 오늘 공부해야 돼요. I have to study today. If I'm gonna use 야 하다. 오늘 공부해야 해요. I have to study today. It's pretty much equivalent. But if you need to negate these verb endings, first one, 야 되다, I'm gonna use 오늘 공부하면 안 돼요. If you study today, it's not okay. So you shouldn't study. 오늘 공부하면 안 돼요. 오늘 today 공부하. You use just the verb root because 면 if doesn't take conjugated form. 면 안 돼요. Not okay. 오늘 공부하면 안 돼요. You shouldn't study today. If I'm gonna use the second way to negate this verb ending, 오늘 공부해서는 안 돼요. 오늘 today 공부해서는 you studied today. You could do any other thing, but you studied today and then not okay. The third way you can negate this verb ending. 오늘 공부 안 해도 돼요. I added a negation between 공부 and 하다. Do here is even if. Even if I don't study today, 돼요. It's okay. This is more like interpreted as I don't have to study today. But like I mentioned, if I use 야 하다, there's really no way to negate the verb. I need to eat now. 지금 먹어야 돼요. 지금 now 먹어. It's from a verb 먹다 conjugated form to add 야 되다. 지금 먹어야 돼요. I need to eat now. If I'm gonna use 야 하다, 지금 먹어야 해요. It's exactly the same format, just replace 돼요 to 해요. 지금 먹어야 해요. If I'm gonna negate the first verb ending, 지금 먹으면 안 돼요. If you eat now, it's not okay. 지금 먹으면 안 돼요. Second way to negate it, 지금 먹어서는 안 돼요. You eat now and then not okay. 지금 먹어서는 안 돼요. 지금 안 먹어도 돼요. It's okay not to eat now. Or I don't have to eat now. So let's recap about what we studied today. There are two verb endings, which is 야 되다 and 야 하다. When you apply these verb endings, you need to use conjugated verb root in Korean. These verb endings can be interpreted into a variety of formats in English. Have to, should, must, etc. But for negative format, you can only really negate the first verb ending, which is 야 되다. So there are three ways to negate the verb ending. Verb root plus 면 or 으면 안 돼요. It's not okay if you do so. Conjugated verb root plus 서는 안 돼요. You do that and then not okay. And then 안, conjugated verb root plus 도 돼요. Even if you don't do this, it's okay. The last part is more like interpreted to don't have to in English. So I'm gonna give you some homework for you to do and leave them comment down below. The first one is I should watch this. And the second one is we should buy the book. You can use both 야 되다 and 야 하다. For the negative format, it's up to you to do so. But if you wanna practice, you can use either of the formats that I talked about today. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If it was useful, make sure to give it a like, share this video with your friends and families, and I see you guys next time. Bye bye.